Hello and welcome to this podcast from Export to Japan. My name is Sue Kinoshita and I'm the Director of Trade and Investment at the British Embassy in Tokyo. I'm just back from a couple of weeks in the UK where I spent my holidays this year. It was so nice to see it in the sunshine for once. I hope you've managed to take a holiday yourselves. But I've just wanted to pause for a moment to think of all the millions of Japanese workers who won't have taken a holiday, despite the temperatures in Japan this year reaching a record 40 degrees and the humidity being something like that in a Turkish bath. The reputation of the Japanese for being incredibly hard-working is fully justified, and it's borne out by the statistics, which show that only 3% of employees use their full annual leave entitlement, which itself is pretty modest at roughly 20 days a year. And it's not just holidays, it's their regular working hours as well. All too often, an evening spent entertaining Japanese contacts ends at about 9 o'clock, with them making excuses that they have to get back to the office. Maybe my company is just so dull that they'd rather be back in the office, but I'd like to think not. In any event, it's true that Japanese employees are exceptionally loyal and prepared to put in whatever is required to complete a job. So, although, or perhaps because, leisure time is at such a premium, they really do make the most of it when they can. A typical family might only manage a summer holiday of a couple of nights at a nearby beach or a mountain resort, but they'll be sure to take in all the sights while they're there. They'll try out all the local specialities, they'll clear the gift shops of souvenirs to take back home. They really do pack a lot into their time away. Hobbies as well are pursued with the same single-mindedness as a job at work would be. If someone says their hobby is photography, for example, they've probably got all the gear, done a course, joined a club, subscribed to a few magazines, and sign in regularly to an online community to compare and critique the latest technologies. Half-heartedness is definitely frowned upon. I still remember, a few years ago now, waiting for an overnight train to a ski resort and hearing the person behind me in the queue saying to her friend, "That bag's not a proper skiing bag." I really was letting the side down. And any hiker who sets out without a cowbell to ward off the bears just isn't taking things seriously. The good thing about this thoroughness is that if someone decides that they like your brand or your product, they'll really buy into it big time. I wanted to share with you 3 examples of that which I witnessed colliding in a single evening last weekend. First of all, you had all the cool kids and me who were on the train back from Summer Sonic, which is a kind of indoor Glastonbury. It takes place at an exhibition centre on the outskirts of Tokyo. The venue for the performance there by the new British band the 1975, who you should look out if you haven't heard of them because they're really good, had to be closed off because it was so packed. And there were hundreds, thousands probably, of young Japanese people at the venue singing along, getting all the words perfect and clearly having spent hours poring over it in advance. So it wasn't just a question of hearing a tune and thinking, oh, that's quite nice. They'd really gone to town to internalise it all. So we were all on the train back, a few stops down the line, in piled all the fans of things cute who'd spent the day at Tokyo Disneyland, which happens to be in the same area. And there they all were with their Disney print t-shirts, their Disney themed bags, their Disney iPhone covers. And then, to complete the party, we pulled into a station close to where a summer fireworks festival had been held. And we made room for all the new people piling on, who this time were lots of young couples wearing traditional Japanese yukata, a sort of summer kimono, and fluttering their fans and looking a picture in their very elaborate hairdos. That's the men and the women. So 3 completely different style statements, but each proponent absolutely committed to their chosen one. And of course they're not mutually exclusive. The indie music fans on a different night could just as well be found embracing more traditional Japanese culture. But the message for anyone tackling the Japanese consumer market, whether for leisure, fashion, entertainment, interiors or cuisine, it's very clear. If you can create a coherent image or a narrative that captures the imagination, then someone somewhere will embrace it with real fervour. My team in UKTI Japan will be happy to help you decide how you might make your brand stick in Japan. Just contact us on export to Japan at fco.gov.uk.